we're now going to tackle these now. I can't remember what these was called now, but getting these little bits of photo etch on here. Now there's a nice way of going about this. This is where thin super glue comes into play so beautifully, right? Because it's metal onto plastic, we've got to kind of use things like super glue, PVA glue, that kind of thing. Now it's quite nice that they've got like a recess right there where it is supposed to go, right? But if we kind of work on that a little bit more, we can make this fit so beautifully. As you can see, that is just fitting really nice. What I did, right, I'll start off by getting my razor saw. This is what is it, by CMK, really nice sort of fine razor saw. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sort of get into this recess panel line that's already there. I'm going to just make it a little bit bigger, right, just a little bit deeper, right, paying special attention, right, to our leading edge. I'm actually going to try and dig that in a nice little bit, right. We're basically making this sit our bit of photo etch nicely in there, right. I'm going to work my way around like so. Right, and this is going to give us a nice sort of trench, a nice groove to get in there. Note how I'm holding this, right? It's sort of keeping your hand nice and steady, like so. And it's just almost kind of just very light movements, even sort of rotating the piece with it. Right, now I do have our little piece just here. And what you want to be doing is periodically just sort of like testing and seeing how it fits, right? It'll fit right when it kind of just sits in there all by itself, nice and easy, and it looks good. That's not quite there yet. After using the saw, I like to come in with the P cutter. The P cutter, I mean, the saw kind of gives us nice straight cuts and kind of digs it in a bit, but with the P cutter, right, this is what kind of makes a bit more of a trench. Right, you know, it's, as you can see, it's kind of removing that plastic quite nicely. And again, I'm holding it in the same fashion, right? I'm holding it in the same fashion, and I'm even sort of trying to rotate the piece rather than moving my hand so much with this one. Right, and the whole idea is we just lightly cut away bit by bit. Right, another thing is, you may notice on these P cutters, you've got the point, which is what we sort of use mainly, but we've got this flat bit as well. That's also good for kind of like holding it like so and just sort of like kind of digging it in. Right, sometimes that kind of helps as well, just to, you know, take advantage of the tool completely. Right, now I'm going to keep sort of like just slowly sort of hacking at this, picking up my piece, right, and just test fitting it. You don't want to be going off and just jumping and cutting right into it, because you might kind of cut too deep and then it doesn't fit quite. Oh, actually that's quite nice now, actually. Yep, that is absolutely spot on already. So there you go. But again, don't kind of keep cutting and cutting and cutting, then test fit. You know, keep test fitting all the time. You don't want to go too deep. So that's looking nice. Now this is where we come in with the some thin super glue. Right, good stuff to get your hands on, because they're really good in situations like this. I'm just going to pour it onto our little pot just here. Right, nice little amount. Using some, it's always good to use, I do believe we've got in the store, like, it's like photo-etch glue applicator. Where the hell have I put, oh, here it is. Something like this, I think, who's this by RB Productions or something. Right, and what I'm going to do here is just dipping into our thin CA glue, right, and because it's thin, I should be able to just touch one of these sort of edges here, and it should just nicely flow. Right, it should just nicely flow into that little groove that we've done. Right, and with it flowing into that groove, it should look pretty neat. Right, so that looks and feels like that's pretty solid in there now. Right, so there we go. That's how you kind of get them on, you know, just making those grooves, getting your super glue, nice thin super glue so it flows in there rather than having like blobs of super glue. If you did need to, I don't know, maybe you got a little bit of super glue somewhere, I mean, you know, you can, I don't really have any, but you can come along with a blade, I mean, and just sort of like maybe scrape off a bit that went up maybe the edges, right, like so, just something like that.